Baruch Hashem. Class دیگر از another class of Mesilat Yesharim. Continuing Perek Shelishi. I believe page 58. So we discussed unless you don't control yourself, you cannot control others or the world. And everything starts with zahirut. How to be zahir, how to be cautious, how to be careful. So if I cannot control my anger, I cannot control others' anger. If I cannot control my time, I cannot have impact on others' time. So everything starts from me. How do I control myself? Tashet Hoshech Vihilayla. That in Tehillim, David HaMelech says, you make darkness and it is night. Isn't it obvious? Once is darkness is night. So what is trying to teach me? That Olam Hazeh, this world, Shedomeh Lelayla, is like a night. What is about night? What is about darkness? Behaven kama nifla ha'ma'amar ha'ma'iti hazeh lemi shema'amik lahavim bo. You should understand how profound this true dictum is. To one who delves into it, to understand it fully, means is so deep and is so meaningful, and you could learn a lot of things from just this mashal, from this example of comparing Olam Hazeh to Laila, to night. So what is it here to learn? Ki hine choshech halayla shnei minei ta'uyot efshar lo. Sheyigrom le'nei adam. Because the darkness of night can confound the man's vision in two ways. So there are two ways that you could make mistakes in darkness at night. Or sheyachase et ha'ayin ad shelo yireh ma shelefanav klal. Either it would obscure his vision completely until he cannot see what is in front of him at all. Means total blindness. Darkness give us environmental blindness. Our eyes are open, but we cannot see because it's too dark. That's called environmental blindness. That all of a sudden, when you come to this environment, to this darkness at night, you're clueless. You cannot find your direction, your destination. And Olam Hazeh, unfortunately, has such a power that our opportunity all of a sudden get lost, that we cannot take advantage of our opportunity. What's another mistake that we may do in darkness at night? O sheyat'eh oto ad sheyira'eh lo amut keilu hu adam va adam keilu amut. Another negative impression or impact of darkness of night is that will distract us to show us a amud, a pole as a human, we may get afraid of something which is not true. And someone is a human, a person. We might consider him just a pole, and we may not be careful and just hit him. It gives us totally opposite version of truth. And this is Olam Hazeh. Anything that we think is so true is so false. And anything that we really have to consider it true, Olam Hazeh show it to us as a false. That you don't have to pay attention. You don't need it. It's like a kids who they prefer candy than healthy food. Healthy food for them is not sweet enough, or the candy, no matter what. And this is our position in Galut, in Olam Hazeh. So before we come to our sense of understanding, how can I control myself to be zahir, to have zahirut, to be careful? First, I have to see which environment I'm living with. Am I in day or night? Am I in light or darkness? And this is what Rabbi Mesilat Yesharim, Rabbi tried to teach us. Your awareness, your hitorerut in life has to do with the environment that you live in. And if you make Olam Hazeh more valuable for yourself, more serious and important, you get into the deep blindness and darkness that you're going to lose all your values in life. Because you think seeing is believing. Whatever you see as a truth, not something that you don't see. So in other words, Olam Hazeh is a college of trick. We are here, and any moment we could get tricked by something else and lose our judgment, pure judgment. And therefore it says, more than what you have to be careful, not others to trick you. You have to be careful the environment, the situation, the incidents of life not to trick you. Sometimes we are not dealing with people, we're dealing with the situations, with the problems, with circumstances in life. And we might feel helpless, hopeless, that this is it. This situation, this problem, this circumstances is stronger than me, and I'm already giving up. I have no way to do it. So that's the whole idea of Galut, darkness. Takes away a hope from us and encourage. And since we don't have a courage and a hope, we're not going to try our best. We're going to stay with the way that we is, and we continue our mistake, our habit, our minhagim that we have. So it says, Ken humriyut v'gashmiyut ha'olam hazeh. The physicality and the material nature of this world, hinehu hoshech halayla le'ein hasechel. The more you care about physical aspect of something, our sechel, our mind and understanding gets limited. Why? Because again, It says in the pasuk, "Lo taturu acharei lebavchem v'acharei einechem." Be careful what you see. Be careful what you feel, because what you see could trick you. Lo taturu acharei lebavchem v'acharei einechem. And chumriut and the gashmiut of olam hazeh, how much this person worth, what does he own, how old he is, how famous he is, how powerful he is. The chumriut and the gashmiut of olam hazeh, unfortunately, make us to make a wrong decision in life, because we're doing it blindness. Our eyes are closed. We are in the darkness. Is olam hazeh. We can't find the truth. We cannot find the right way to decide. Inehu choshech halayla le'ein hasechel ve'gorem lo shtei tauyot, and it will cause us to make two major mistakes in life. Ha'achad eino maniach lo sheiru hamichsholot sheb'darchei ha'olam. In one aspect, with closed eyes, you cannot see what are the michshol, what are the stumblings in your way. And we could make the same mistake over and over. We don't realize that something wrong with us. I'm doing something wrong. I'm in the wrong position. We don't realize. This is unbelievable statement. And they fall into sin and are lost without ever realizing that there was cause to fear. As a result of this lack of perception, the foolishness ones walk along their merry way with false confidence. This is actually the key of any mistake that we make in life. False confidence, that we are so sure I'm right. That's 100% wrong. False confidence. And since I believe in myself and my perspective so much, I don't ask, I don't correct myself, I don't do any improvement, any change, nothing. I'm sure I'm right. Let's do it. And this is the false confidence. V'nimsaim ha'petaim. And as a result of this, they become petaim, the foolish people, kolchim, that they continue in the wrong direction, lebeta, with 100% confidence. And that's the false confidence. And unfortunately, sooner or later, ונופלים ועובדים מבלי שהגיעם פחד תחילה. And unfortunately, they realize at the end of the road that is dead end. And they fall into the sin. And they are lost without ever realizing that they made a mistake. And you know what is the end of this kind of ending? We blame others instead of blaming ourselves. Because I'm 100% sure I was right. Oh, that was him, that was her, that was this. That, you know what? It was even Hashem. We are ready to blame even Hashem and not to blame ourselves. That maybe I was wrong. So much we are deep into darkness that we are so blind that we don't realize, I think it was my mistake to begin with. We have so much confidence and bitachon that I'm right. I remember once I heard this Pirush. You know, Korah, he was a very tzaddik to begin with. But he felt, you know what, if I'm so tzaddik, I have to be more involved. So I should become a leader. Why Aharon is a leader? And that's how he started his objection and protesting against Moshe Rabbeinu. But we know Korah was not alone. Korah has few partners, Datan and Aviram, and also On Ben Pele. On Ben Pele, yes, he was also very active, involved, but he had a wife who was smarter than him. She said, listen, at least Korah is from Shevet Levi. Aharon also is from Shevet Levi. So Korah saying, why Aharon, my cousin from Shevet Levi, to be Kohen? I'm also Levi. I want to become a Kohen. But you are from Shevet Reuven. Even though if Korah wins, you are still Shevet Reuven. You don't become a Kohen. So what are you fighting for? But he said, I already promised. We already made arrangement. Tomorrow we have an appointment. We have to meet and protest. She said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. How does she, the Midrash says, what did she do? She came by the tent and she uncovered her hair and started to comb her hair. So every minute, every half an hour, they send someone, oh, where is Ben Peled? Is late. As soon as they came, they see, oh, she's there, not Senut, they left. After a few times, they didn't come back anymore, and he was saved. But the question is, let's see who is smart. The question is, they could have sent a lady. They could have sent someone, go ahead and tell the wife, listen, your husband has to be there, wake him up, or where is he? Why? They didn't continue. Look at this. Because they said, oh, he's a type that his wife uncovered her hair by the tent. He cannot be part of us. He's not holy enough. Even Korah fighting against Moshe Rabbeinu. Still they failed, they believed in themselves. We are doing with the holiness, with the Kedusha. And this is the machloket that unfortunately so many times in the generation we had to pay the price, that because of our righteousness, because of our sitkut, because I'm Shomer Shabbat, because I'm Tzaddik, because I'm so good and religious, I'm right. Oh, because you are religious, you are right. Bring you more mistakes. And this is what he's trying to say. Never ever give yourself false confidence. Being tzaddik is not the main criteria to say, since I'm tzaddik or tzaddik, so I'm right. Since my neighbor is not Shomer Shabbat, he's wrong. That doesn't go like that. Always you have to keep your eyes open and not to fall in the pit of Yetzer Hara. That is, see, you're so good, you're so honest, you care so much, you help your parents, you help your children so much. Definitely you are right. So be careful. These are all tactics of Satan. Gives you false hope, false confidence, gives you all the credit in order to take advantage of you, to use you, to put you in the wrong direction. And according to Tehillim, David HaMelech, this is called Hoshech, darkness. that you can't see the truth. You cannot see anything around you. You're totally lost. And that's why we have to always consult. Da'at Torah. Always ask your question and your perspective, check with something else. Don't do it alone. וגורם לו שתי טעויות, האחד אינו מניח לו שיראה מכשולות שבדרכי העולם. He doesn't realize how much mistake he's making every day. ונמצאים הפתאים הולכים לבטח, and are considered like a fool people that they have a false confidence. ונופלים ועובדים מבלי שהגיעם פחד תחילה, and they fall and they don't realize without having any chance. You know what? Let me think about it. We don't give ourselves a chance even to think twice. I'm right. Let's do it. והוא מה שאמר הכתוב, דרך רשעים כאפלה לא ידעו במה ייכשל. Derech, the way of Reshaim, wicked people, is like in darkness, ba'afela. And what is the problem? Lo yadu b'mei kashelu, and they don't realize what was their mistake, why they fall, why they are not winning, because they think I'm right, so they don't see any mistake or problem with themselves. And it says in the pasuk, Arum ra'a ra'a v'nistar uptaim avru v'ne'nashu. That's in Mishlet. Usually, a clever person sees evil and hides. When you are arum means smart, clever. When you are arum, clever, smart, ra'a, once you see the bad and evil, when you start, right away, you hide yourself. Say, you know what? I don't want to have any interaction with it. Uftaim. But those who are foolish, they are not smart enough. Avru. They continue, they get involved, v'ne'nashu, and they get punished at the end. Because they did not pay attention, they were not careful, they were not cautious, they didn't have zehirut, they didn't have brightness, everything around them was dark, so they made a mistake. And it says in Mishle again, Uchsil, מתעבר ובוטח. Someone who is again still, kasil means foolish. A fool forgets, forges forges on, and is confident. Someone who is foolish continues his mistakes. And he's not even worried about it. He's so sure, I'm right. Why? Because their heart is so complete for them, like a big hall. I'm so sure about what I'm doing. I have no problem. I'm right. And this is what it says in also Navi. Ashrei mi shemefahet tamid. Fortunate is the one who is always worried, in fear. And it says in the Masechet Barachot, what type of fear? Fear from his avonot. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. He always double check everything. Is it good to say that? Is it okay to do that? Am I allowed to do this? Should I continue like that? He always double check. He's not doing it on his own. If he's Hashrei mi shemefachet tamid, and this is what sometimes we save ourselves with one question, with one doubt that, you know what, maybe I should think twice, maybe I should ask. We don't have false confidence. What I'm doing wrong is right. You see other people, I'm such a tzaddik, I'm so good, I'm so good-hearted person, I want good for everyone, so I'm okay. He said that's not the permission for you to just continue with your mistake. These are choshev. V'noflim terem yed'u, and they fall before becoming aware of any obstacles at all. And still they don't know why for these past 10 years still they are not improving, there is nothing changed, why still we are in the same level. They don't realize, because they think what they have done is right. And this is what Achamim they learned from this past few weeks parasha. That Yosef brothers, they had so much confidence that what are we doing is right. That, you know what? First, let's kill him. Kill Yosef, our brother, because he has a deen of rodef. What is rodef? Rodef means if someone is chasing someone to kill, he has a full power, self-defense, to defend himself, and he could kill the other guy before he gets killed. That's called rodef. And therefore, according to halacha, let's say a pregnant woman who has a baby, and the baby is jeopardizing her life. So we give the deen of rodef to that baby, that this baby is putting her mom or his mom life in danger. So then who comes first? The mom, to save the mom, not to save the baby, because the baby is din of rodef, is after the mom putting her life in danger. And brother says he is a rodef. With this bad report that he gives to our father Yaakov, one day Yaakov might curse us, and we have nowhere to go. So let's take care of him right away. They were so sure that after they did everything, they said, oh, we are 9 people. 9 people. How many people we need to make sure this is strong? We need 10 people. Who was the 10th one? No, Yosef already gone. Binyamin already by Yaakov. Reuven on the way coming back from home to save Yosef. So only 9 brothers were there when they did everything. They brought Hashem as a 10th person. They make a minyan. That's why even Hashem couldn't tell Yaakov. So you see, once you are so sure, you even make Hashem involved in your decisions. I'm so 100% sure what I'm doing is right. Hashem, here, help me. I give this tzedakah. I do this. I do that. Here, help me. Maybe you're doing a mistake. So this is what we see, that if we don't have zehirut, if we are not careful about olam hazeh, forget about galut, Forget about, you could be even in Eretz Israel, even at the time of Bet HaMikdash. Still, Olam Hazeh is Olam Hazeh. We are not talking about Galut. No. We're talking about Eretz Israel at the time of Bet HaMikdash. Olam Hazeh. Olam Hazeh is Olam Hazeh no matter what, from when you are born until we live. So it says, be careful about Olam Hazeh. Don't just think going, other nations are our enemies. You could be your worst enemy of yourself if you don't pay attention. So many mishpachot, families, are suffering because everyone feels I'm right in the family. I'm right. So if I'm right, then he or she is wrong. And you know that joke that once couple came to a rabbi, so the rabbi first listened to the husband, says, you're right. Then he listened to the wife, says, you're right. So the rabbi's wife was there, said, listen, if both are right, then they didn't have a fight to come to you. He said, you are right too. Unfortunately, we don't give ourselves a chance even to realize what are our mistakes because we are so deep involved in Olam Hazeh. And this is what it's saying. If you don't watch yourself, no one is going to watch you. No one is going to help you. No one is going to take your hand. You have to be zahir. You have to be cautious. You have to be careful what I'm doing. And Achamim, they say, we discussed that last time. No matter you want to do mitzvah or you want to do avera, always have mechashev hefsed mitzvah keneged sechara uschar avera keneged hefseda. There is always benefit in any avera that you do, and there is always damage with every mitzvah that you do. But you have to see which one is greater or lower. Which one? I should do the mitzvah with a little bit damage. I should do the avera with a lot of benefit. All depends how you calculate. But there is every mitzvah, there is a hefsed, and every avera has a sachar. That's called freedom of our choice. That you deciding based on these two opportunity to do the mitzvah or to do the avera. Because if every mitzvah was full 100% benefit, then it's not your choice. Definitely, you did it because of your benefit. But once you see there is a hefsed, damage, and there is a benefit, advantage and disadvantage, then you put it together, it was your decision. So if it was your decision, you are entitled to the sachar, to the reward, or to the punishment. So at the end of the day, Hashem is teaching us how to be our own judge in order for Hashem not to judge us every time, every day, every situation. Be your own judge. Calculate. Think twice. Consult. Ask. Be cautious. Be careful. Don't be full of yourself. Don't have false confidence. Ask and give a little bit benefit of doubt to others. That, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's right. Maybe she's right. Maybe I'm wrong. You don't have to feel embarrassed if you are wrong, but at least as long as you know what is your mistake, is a more of a chance to help yourself than if you don't want to know your mistake. And this is what Ramchal trying to reveal to us. as much as you can. Live in Olam Hazeh as you are living in Olam Haba. Don't get tricked by any ideas that will fool you and make you the best person in life, and this way you have no reason to regret or to do teshuvah or to feel upset that maybe it was my mistake. And this is what it says, Ashrei mi shemefachet tamid. And in Masechet Brachot, we see when Yaakov wanted to face Esau, it says, Vayira Yaakov. And Yaakov was so scared. And Hachamim, they say, why? Didn't Hashem give him such a confidence? Ushmarticha, I will protect you. Why? Vayira. Yaakov was so in spirit. Gemara says Yaakov had no doubt that Hashem protection, Shemirah promise is there. So how come he was afraid? Because he said, Shema Yigarem Hachet. Maybe I did something wrong that no longer I deserve or I'm entitled to Hashem promise. Shema Yigarem Hachet. Maybe I made a mistake, that I lost that chance, that advantage that Hashem wanted to give me. Otherwise, Hashem promise is promise. But then maybe many people, they get invited to many happy occasions. But if they come late, they miss it. They cannot go in, the door is closed, or they finish the event. If we cause any delay in our hashpah, in our brachot, blessing that Hashem has for us, the blessing is there. We cause the delay. And this is what Ramchal is trying to teach us. You want to be successful? Don't consider your life in Olam Hazeh. Always think, I am in darkness. Something I cannot see clearly. Not necessarily what I see is true. Maybe there is something which I missed it. Let me ask, let me double check. Always consult. Asela Kharab. And this is what really brings us to more self-improvement and zehirut. Once we believe in it that I'm not 100% right. Okay, I don't know my mistake yet, but at least I know I'm not 100% right. At least I know something is wrong. What is wrong? I don't know, but I know something is wrong. And this is what it says in Perkei Avot. When two people have argument and they come to you for peshara, to help them, always consider both of them guilty. Rashaim even it says guilty. Why? Because if one of them knew better, he would have not make the argument so severe that to come to some other person. They would have compromised already beforehand. So if both, they think they are both right and they cannot really give a chance to each other, means both are wrong. And this is what we learn from Yosef and his brothers. Why should take 22 years after the so many damages in family, in brother, in parents' health and everything? Then we realize, you know what? Oh, you're right. I was wrong. But 22 years passed. Already the damage is done. Bezat Hashem should help us to keep our eyes open, zehirut, with a full awareness to do the right thing for ourselves, for everyone else, and not to cause any damage or upset, but rather improvement and sachar mehail el chai. Baruch Hashem leolam. Amen. Yeah, we discussed last time. Let's say you do a avera, means you still compromise and you don't argue with someone, even though you know it's wrong, but you keep the peace. You try to keep it peaceful, even though you know it's wrong, you are right, but you try to keep it peaceful. That's the benefit of the avera, even though you did not stop it, but still you kept the peace, shalom. And maybe this shalom is more important than that stopping the avera. It depends which avera. Maybe this shalom becomes a bridge that for him to realize more of the situation, and he himself will stop his mistake or his avera. By you not stopping him from avera, but rather with the shalom and with the peace. Yes, you are not stopping the avera, but the benefit is the shalom bayit. The benefit is a peace that brings harmony and understanding and maybe more cooperation later on.
How do you differentiate to know that okay, this was my mistake or this is what I wanted the one thing is what I have to say what it was mine.
Again, that's a very good question. How do we know if it was Hashem's decision or it was my wrong decision? Gamze letova or my mistake? We have to always ask. Once you ask Da'at Torah, you will realize that for no reason Hashem had this situation like this in order for a better benefit later on. We don't know why now, but later on we find out. So therefore we have to always ask Da'at Torah that, listen, I think it was my mistake, but apparently it's Hashkaha Pratit, what Hashem wanted. And then you will see how the other opinion, the third opinion, will guide you. But we should always ask. Sure. Then we realize. Baruch Hashem le'olam. Amen. Amen.